I need you to really sit with this before you answer. What if everything you built, the career, the independence, the capacity, the drive that everyone around you admires? What if for some of it, it was not really ambition? What if some of it was survival wearing the costume of success? Hmm. Can we talk about that today? Because I think it's one of the most important conversations of a high achieving woman that can have for herself. For those of you who do not know me or who are new here, I'm Kenya Tan, empowerment coach, social worker with over 20 years of human service experience working alongside women, youth, individuals, and families. And this is the Empowerment Clique. And this is where we get a little real. So come on in, have a seat. Today I want to talk about what came across a conversation I had recently. Um, and what I realized is trauma, ambition, and ambition can look identical from the outside. The woman who works twice as hard as everyone around her, the woman who cannot rest without constantly feeling guilty, or the woman who always preparing for something to go absolutely wrong when everything is going right. The woman who built financial independence because deep down she never fully trusted anyone on what they had to say. How about for those who became exceptionally because exceptional felt safer than original? Original felt very invisible because invisible felt very dangerous. From the outside of all that looks like drive and ambition and discipline, even success. And trust me, it really all is that. It genuinely is. The success is real. Capability, that's real. These things are real, and you or she or I, we built those things are real. But to feel like underneath some of that, the thing that was actually running that engine, it deserves a closer look, that part. Can you identify what this is? Because I feel, and I've noticed, and I even think a lot of us women watching this have built remarkable things from a place that have never fully been examined. Not because they were not self-aware, but because when you are in survival mode, you did not get to stop and examine your fuel source. You know, you just keep going because stopping feels dangerous because stopping feels like the thing underneath the notion, and I think underneath that notion has been waiting for a very, very long time. I want to tell you what trauma driven success actually looks like because I want to be specific. I think it's easy to hear the words trauma driven and immediate disconnect to think that it's not me. I do not have a traumatic life. I am totally fine. But trauma does not only come from traumatic. It comes from the chronic too. For years, I feel like you had to earn a place, your place, you want to say. Environments where they felt like conditional or love for conditional on your sort of performance. From watching instability and deciding like consciously or not that you were going to build a life so solid that nothing could shake it. Learning early that the only person you can fully rely on was yourself. That's trauma, very quiet trauma, functional trauma, the kind that produces like extraordinary human beings who are also very like quiet and exhausted all the time. You know, it also takes place and what I have picked up on and myself have went through, there's a specific kind of exhaustion that comes from building the survival. And it's different from the exhaustion of working very hard. Working hard exhaustion has a satisfactory feel to it. Like, I finally completed a task. So I can move on, you know? Survival person does not have that. Survival is just kind of where you reach the goal and feel absolutely nothing, like empty, like you still have to continue to go. We accomplish the thing and immediately look for the next thing to happen because you can't keep stopping because I mean the thing you were running from might kind of catch up to you. Can you intensify with that? With arriving somewhere and feeling strangely empty inside of all that instead of full? I have sat with women who built businesses from fear, who achieved financial independence from the terror of dependency, who became the strongest person in every single room they entered because vulnerability have never once felt safe. And they were remarkable, tremendous trailblazers, every single one of them. And they were also running a program that was never going to let them feel at peace because the program was not designed for peace. It was designed for survival, and survival and peace are not this in the same destination. So what does this mean for you? It does not mean that what you built is not real. No, it is very real. It does not mean that your achievement was not genuinely earned. They were, you know? And I don't want to say it doesn't mean that the strength that you built and developed was not genuinely strength, because all that was definitely true. Survival builds real things. Capacity is real. The resilience is always real. But at some very point in time, and I think I want to say like when you start hitting like late 40s, early 50s, it's often that point for all of us women, the question generally shifts from how do I survive to how do I actually start to live? From what do I need to build to do what I exactly want? And what keeps me safe to keep things to make me happy and to build joy? And making that shift requires looking at yourself honestly at the fuel, the stomach, the nervous system that you've been running on, not to be ashamed of it, to minimize it and what it built. Because to decide like consciously with full awareness whether you want to keep running on it or whether you want it to build something different, new from a different place, a fuller place, a place where the foundation is not fear, but genuinely like desired, a gradual, slow moment. Because you are capable of building from that desire. You have already proven you can build from it. Now imagine what you can build from when it's more peaceful and calm. To many of us, this is our second half, and it starts kind of conversation. Knowing yourself, oh my goodness, is not selfish. It's so necessary. Check yourself so you can be yourself. I'm the King of Here. This is the Empowerment Clique. And this is a vibe check. Peace.